Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope everyone's week has been going well. I'm just going to wait like a second or two for people to come in, and then we'll go ahead and start our discussion. So, I got my notes here, as I always do. Brad, good to see you. Today, basically, we're going to be going over how to maximize your intensity and focus in the gym so you get the most out of every single one of your sessions. Brad and Bob, good to see you. We got the guys with the bees coming in. Today, hope your week has been going well. Let me know what's new in your corner. Yeah, we're going to be focusing on how to enhance your intensity. Mark, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. How to enhance your intensity and, more importantly, your focus in the gym. So that way you get the most out of your training sessions. David, good to see you. Hope all is well. And I do have my notes here, so we're just going to go down the list. And once again, if you guys have any questions at all, just reach out and I'll kind of address them as they come through. Okay. So first and foremost, Charles, good to see you. First and foremost, I mean, when you want to enhance your Benjamin, good to see you. When you want to enhance your intensity and get the most out of your training sessions, and more importantly, like enhance your focus in the gym, which is required to enhance your intensity, there are a few key things that need to be done to achieve that on a consistent basis so you get the most out of your training sessions. And Lee, good to see you. And this is so important because obviously a lot of you guys go to the gym. And a lot of you guys see a lot of people that go to the gym and they're there for like an hour, 2 hours a day. And you see them like every time you're there for probably 5 or 6 days a week, but they literally like never change. And one of the reasons is their intensity sucks. You see them like on their phone very often during the training session, or they're kind of chitting and chatting or watching the TV, or they just don't have any game plan. So we're going to go over exactly what needs to be done to enhance your intensity, enhance your focus, and get the most out of your training sessions. That way you have results week after week, because a lot of times people, they fall off programs because they just don't see results. I just don't really see anyone that's seeing results and seeing their body change week after week, like being unmotivated. You only see the people that are putting in a lot of effort into the training sessions and not getting the equivalent amount of return. They might see little changes here and there, but not worth the amount of time and the amount of energy they're putting into their workouts. So they kind of like just fall off the bandwagon and then, just go back to their old ways and regain their weight or whatever, just don't accomplish their fitness goals. So when you're looking to enhance your intensity, I mean, the first thing right off the bat that you have to do is you have to be clear about your goals. You have to be clear, like crystal clear about like what exactly are you trying to achieve. If you're trying to and be like very objective, very measurable about it. John, good to see you. What exactly are you trying to achieve? Let's say you're trying to lose weight. How much weight? Like what is your ideal weight? You have to identify like all these things. One thing you could do to kind of like objectify is you can get like a thing called a DEXA scan. It kind of like you basically just lay down in a bed and they give you a body fat percentage. And then if you want to be like on the leaner side, you got to be basically 12% and below for most males. Sergio, good to see you. It of course depends on the type of look you're aiming for. But then you can go, okay, so this scan came in at 20%. I need to be at 12% to have a lean midsection or below, or I need to be like at like 8% or below to have like a ripped midsection. Now I know I need to go from 20% to 12 or 8%, and I need to lose X amount of weight. You could easily determine how much weight you would need to lose. Now at least you have like a starting place. So once again, like the first thing on enhancing intensity is you really do have to be crystal clear about your goals and try to have them as measurable as possible. Don't be like, oh, I just need to lose weight. So once again, specifically, like how much weight are you looking to lose? How much weight do you want to lose per week? Et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's important because, I mean, think about it this way. You don't get in your car and then you turn on the GPS once you're driving and figure out where you want to go. You usually have like in mind, like, okay, I need to go to the grocery store. You get in your car, you turn on the GPS to the grocery store, and then you drive. So you have a starting place and an ending place, and you go from there, okay? So that sets the foundation. You need to really have like a very, very crystal clear description of what you're trying to achieve. So next, once you have that crystal clear description, you have that good definition, it's time to do a few other things. So first and foremost, you have to get on a program that's very structured. So in exercise, they refer to this, and I'll kind of break it down in simple terms, but you have to have like a program that's thought out from a macro perspective, a mesocycle perspective, and a microcycle perspective. And that's just basically a fancy way of saying you need like a macro goal is, for example, like a quarterly goal, your 3 to 4 month goal. A meso goal is like your monthly goal, for example. Like, what are your monthly goals, and what are the steps and processes needed to achieve those goals week to week? And then a micro goal is basically your weekly goal. So what are we doing on a week to week basis that will lead to what we're doing on a month to month basis, that will lead to what we're doing on a quarterly basis. And then obviously as an umbrella goal, you would want like, what am I trying to achieve for this specific year? So for me personally, it's like, my macro goal, as I mentioned in this group before, was to go from 197 to about 210 by the end of the year in like a 4-month period, 3 to 4 month period, basically. So that would be an example of something you would need. And just remember, as a general rule, also, if you don't plan, you plan to fail. And this is one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make, and why they don't maximize the intensity of their workouts. They kind of show up and they kind of just think of stuff off the top of their head, like, oh, today I need to train chest, or I need to train, or I want to train this and this and that, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like very scattered and not well thought out. And it's very important to get like on a properly structured program that's once again divided into weekly, monthly, and quarterly, and then yearly goals as well. So just to give you an example of what that looks like, this would be an example. I need to get a little bit more higher tech and be able to do some kind of screen share, but this would be an example. This is like what I give my clients. So this would be an example of a micro cycle. So it's like what they do on a weekly basis. Okay, I didn't want like 30 pieces of paper to show you what they do on a yearly basis, but that's important to set up for as well. And I do that for my clients also. But it basically outlines, like week 1 through 4, what do they need to do? Like what specific exercises do they need to do, in which order? For example, like what is their intensity? Intensity being defined as the amount of, Mark, good to see you. Intensity being defined as the amount of weight used in an exercise. The 1 rep max being 100% intensity, and then you can kind of go from there. Your tempos. How fast should you be doing the lifts in the eccentric, concentric direction, et cetera, et cetera? In week 1, how many sets and reps do I need to do of that specific exercise? How many, et cetera. So Mark, I saw you try to join. If you have any questions, just feel free to kind of text them here, and I'll try to address them, okay? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining, by the way. Et cetera, et cetera. So what they need to do week to week, then what they need to do on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, stuff of that sort. Eric, good to see you. Stuff of that sort. And that's important to kind of set up, because now when you have like something like this, you have a plan when you go into the gym. You have a plan of when you go into the gym, so it kind of already mentally prepares you for what needs to be done and keeps you very focused and tunnel visioned on your goals and objectives. Vince, good to see you. And this is key, because once again, I'll say it again, and I say it many times, but if you don't plan, you do plan to fail. And it's very rare to see people doing this. It's even rare to see certified trainers providing this for their clients. Most trainers, you kind of come in and they're like, what do you want to train today, or something of that sort. So huge red flag if you're getting that kind of coaching, if you're not getting like a very, very detailed printout of exactly like what you need to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, yearly basis. And it all, once again, needs to flow in and match well into your overall goal, okay, of like what you're specifically trying to achieve for your physique. So that is important, and it cannot be overlooked. If you're not doing that, you're just going to be very scattered, and you're not really going to be efficient with your time at the gym, okay? Because once again, you're just making stuff up as you go, and the best you would get under that kind of circumstance is some short-term results, basically, and maybe some short-term gains or some short-term weight loss, but then that's it. You will hit plateaus 100% guaranteed. You'll stop seeing results, and because of that, you will get demotivated and your intensity will go down, and then your results will go down even more, and then you'll just stop working out or cut back on your workouts or something of that sort. Yeah, good work, Kyle. Yeah, that's the base, man. Getting a good definition of what you're trying to achieve, and then setting up a well thought out, once again, yearly goals, quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and all of that needs to be very objective and tracked, okay, with specific exercise sets, tempos, rest intervals, and all of them need to complement one another in terms of getting you closer to that goal. Okay, so that's key. The next one is to enhance your intensity. So I'm just going to show you guys this. I showed you in a couple of areas. So I have my clients fill out this thing called an HAQ I got from the Czech Institute. It's extremely helpful, and it gives me a good breakdown of their gut health, their hormonal health, their mood, their adrenal health, their like musculoskeletal health. Are they having any injuries, et cetera, et cetera. And I would have to say, honestly, I've done corporate lectures for quite a while and had many people fill these out. And I've also had many clients fill these out. And most Americans are in the high red in pretty much the bulk majority of the categories. So how does this apply to their intensity? Well, if your body is so burdened, like for example, if you have so much gut inflammation and distress, so much anger, anxiety, depression, maybe you have some kind of muscle pain, like pain in the shoulder or maybe the neck or something like that. This is all draining and energy consuming because you have to constantly focus on that, and then your central nervous system or immune system is very taxed by having to deal with that all the time. And obviously, you can't come up with energy out of nowhere, and your workouts take energy. They don't give energy. So if all of this stuff is kind of leaking your energy throughout the day, all day, every day, that's of course going to have like a huge impact on your intensity in the gym, because you're going to be going into those workouts with even less energy, for example. Okay, so obviously if you have 70% of your energy or 60% of your energy, you can't give 100% during the workout. It's very obvious there, okay? So this is key also. This background stuff is very important. So if you have like gut inflammation, you need to bring that down. You need to get on a diet that's going to eat food groups that's going to help bring that gut distress down, so that way it's not burdening you all day. If your adrenal score is high because you're working too many hours, you're going to have to stop working those hours if you really want to get the most bang out of your buck during your workouts and really enhance your physique and your appearance and just your health overall, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we can talk about this stuff for hours and hours in terms of why this is important. And we covered a lot of this stuff in so many other past videos, so I'm not going to go over it in so much detail here, but do not overlook this, okay? If you need help filling this out, you're welcome to contact me, and I can kind of send you the forms from there, just so you can kind of see where you're at, okay? But this is very important. A lot of what you're saying is resonating. My struggle is finding the balance from burnout with my work. Yeah, it's tough, and I'll let you know at the end of the video what's worked well for me long term. But I hear that very often. Oops, give me a second, guys. I see Vince stated something. I'm just going to read it really quick, and then I'll bring the notes to the show. Yeah, so once again, Vince is a former client of mine. I actually just did a podcast with him recently. He talked about his journey of going from nearly 400 pounds, you guys, to about 178, or he's about 180 pounds at the moment, okay? So I'd highly recommend that, because that's an extensive and impressive journey, and I'm pretty sure you guys can take some good points away from there, okay? But anyways, let's kind of go over what we covered so far in terms of key points, and then we'll continue. So first and foremost, you need a clear goal. You need to clearly define like what exactly you're trying to achieve, because without a vision, you're putting your energy everywhere. You don't know where to kind of concentrate your energy. And you only have 24 hours in the day too. So the more clear your vision and objectives are, just the better and more productively you can put your energy into the right things. So that's important. That's why my assessment process with clients always lasts like a minimum of 2 to 3 hours, okay? Because this is how much time it really takes to create a solid program for a person, and knowing exactly what they need to achieve. Then the second thing is you need a well thought out program and sheets of paper, like I mentioned here, that you would need to bring with you to the gym, okay? You need to bring these with you to the gym and fill it out as you go. You know, how many reps, sets did I do? How much weight did I do? This will obviously help you just be more productive and have more of a goal when you're in the gym, but it'll actually also make you more consciously aware of what you're trying to achieve, and also more consciously aware of your progress. You know, am I making progress week after week on my lifts? If I'm not, then what's going on? Maybe my sleeping sucks. Maybe I need to change up my microcycles a little bit. Maybe I need to switch from an accumulation to an intensification phase. There's so much you can do, but just writing it down is so important because it'll just make you more consciously aware of the entire process. And then once again, if you have a trainer and they're not providing you this, huge red flag, demand better service from them, okay? They need to be providing you these workouts so you can be keeping detailed records of what you're exactly doing, okay? All right. So, and then the HAQ, we covered the HAQ as well. Obviously, this is pretty much the average person, and according to studies I've listed in the group, you know, 88% of people, 88% of Americans are metabolically unhealthy, okay? So obviously they're not going to be able to maximize the intensity of their workouts if their scores are all maxed out like this and they have so much burden on their body, on their central nervous system 24/7, gut issues, anxiety issues, adrenal fatigue, anger issues, musculoskeletal pain. A lot of people are dealing with nagging injuries that just don't heal because they're probably just not sleeping or eating well at all, or keep picking that scab, etc., etc. Prostate issues, all of that stuff, okay? It adds up, it drains your energy. And once again, workouts take energy, they don't give energy. So if you're going into your workouts with not that much energy, there's no way, you know, if you have, like I mentioned before, 70% energy, there's no way you're going to be able to give 100% during your workout. It's just very basic when you kind of think about it, and very tough to argue against. And one of the worst things you can do, especially in a fatigue state, is depend on coffee and energy drinks, okay? When you're fatigued, when you're tired, that's your body's way of telling you need to rest, manage your rest a lot better, manage your work a lot better in terms of working less, most likely. It's not your body's way of telling you, give me coffee, because coffee really, all it really does is just kind of stop your brain from releasing something that makes you perceive like you're tired, you know, but you're still very tired and fatigued. And notice that you guys work with people that drink coffee, I'm sure, a lot. Notice the ones that are drinking the most coffee are always chronically tired, which is very ironic and comical almost, because coffee is supposed to give you energy, but these people are just always tired. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Because what happens is it kind of like gives you, for example, a perceived small boost in energy, but then it takes like 2 energy units away. So you're constantly slipping into more and more of a deficit of energy and getting more and more tired. Thus, you need more and more coffee. But then after a certain point, it just kind of plateaus and there's really no added benefit or effect. So then you just continuously get tired and tired and tired. Because remember, fatigue is a symptom, okay? Get to the cause of what's causing that symptom and fix it there. Stop masking the symptoms with coffee and energy drinks. It just never works out. It never works out. And then if you're Harvey, good to see you. It never works out. And then if you're chronically tired, remember, muscle is built off a rested physique, okay? Muscle development happens when you're resting, not breaking tissue down. So if you're chronically tired, you're not getting good sleep, you're running yourself into the ground, there's no way your body has the resources to produce a muscular physique. And even if it does because you have good genetics, for example, remember, gaining muscle is fairly easy. It's maintaining that muscle that becomes difficult for long periods of time, because your body naturally just doesn't want to typically hold on to muscle because it's not energy efficient. So that's something to consider as well, okay? All right. So, yeah, and we touched on sleep. Okay, that's huge. And let's cover that here. So for example, just we covered sleep in other videos in so much detail, but a quick overview is make sure you're sleeping between the hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Remember, your body repairs itself physically from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and then mentally from 2 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so if you're feeling like mentally foggy, look at your sleep schedule. Maybe you're not sleeping between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 a.m. If you don't feel like you're recovering from workouts, it could be because your sleep is kind of shitty between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So evaluate these in detail. And a lot of times people are like, well, I sleep well, but are you doing that every day? And, depending on your personality, like if you have a racing mind, remember, you want to be already asleep, like actually knocked out at 10 p.m. So if you have a racing mind, you might need to be in bed at 9 p.m. to kind of cool down to already be sleeping at 10 p.m. Because for example, if you're in bed at 10 p.m. but actually fall asleep at 11 p.m., you're already losing 7 hours of physical repair time per week. That's a full day of rest every single week. And of course, that's going to have a negative impact on your intensity and focus in the gym, for sure. Negative impact. Definitely not going to be helping you, okay? All right. So those are the things. Now, another important thing to enhance intensity in the gym is identify energy drains. And what do I mean by that? So energy drains, let's just cover the 3 most common ones, okay? Love-hate relationships. They can take many forms, as I've mentioned in many videos, but some quick examples that most people can probably relate to are just people at work that you don't like working with and they kind of drain you to work with them. Or customers, they drain you to work with them. Another example of a love-hate relationship is a family member that drains you. The more of these kind of love-hate relationships you have in your life, just the more drained and energy consuming it will become. And just like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, workouts take energy, they don't give you energy. And if you're going into your workouts with like 70 or 60% energy, there's no way you can give 100%. And a lot of these things are what drain your energy, okay? And don't leave much for the actual workout. And then on top of that too, there's the whole focus aspect, like for example, if your boss nagged at you or just doesn't have an understanding of nonviolent communication skills, stuff of that sort, you're kind of probably thinking about that during the workout and it's distracting you. And then obviously that's going to kind of hinder your ability to actually have intense workouts as well, okay? So energy drains, super important to identify them. Since we're on the weekend, I would recommend you guys a quick thing you can do. Take a piece of paper out or a notebook and just write down all of the things that are causing you stress, for example. And most likely a lot of those things or all of them are going to be examples of energy drains. So you could do something like this, Check this out. I have my notes here. You can draw yourself out. Let's say you have your mind. Okay, so I drew. There we go. Not the best picture, but you guys get the idea, okay? And then identify like all your stresses. Just draw them in a circle around your mind and then draw arrows to that. And there's a good practice, like very easy to implement to start identifying what's draining your energy, okay? And this is huge. And then you have to actually do the due diligence and work to eliminate them or kind of modify them in a way so they don't keep draining your energy. So that's huge. If you guys can do anything this weekend, that would be super important to do. So another thing that could be energy draining is what's referred to as a story gap. This is huge, and like the most common example of a story gap is, for example, working a job you don't like. This is extremely draining and taxing on the body because at the end of the day, you're being fake. You're wearing masks, and the more masks you wear in life, the more draining that is on your central nervous system and on your just energy systems in general. So, I don't have to go into details here. Everyone can probably relate to it at some point in their life. Like for example, let's say a person wanted to be an artist, but instead they became a lawyer because they just didn't feel safe being an artist. They felt like the world is not going to reward them for doing art, like financially reward them for doing art. So they don't feel like physically safe expressing their true self because they feel like, well, the world's going to reject me. My art isn't that good. And thus, they kind of wear masks, and they became a lawyer, for example. They went down a more traditional, well thought out path, and they put that behind them. But then, like the prestige might have been cool in the beginning, the money might have been cool in the beginning, but 2 or 3 years later, because of the stressful work and the long hours and lack of balance in life, this person is doing a lot of paperwork for a case study, but in the back of their head, they know they just want to be in an art class, like picking cool brushes. I'm not an artist myself, I'm just making this stuff up. Picking cool brushes and cool paints and figuring out how to draw random pictures or make other art. And this wears on the person's central nervous system a lot because, think about it. You're working 8 hours, some people working 10 hours a day if you count the commute to work. So it really takes up the bulk majority of your week, because when you're driving to work, you're thinking about work. Then at work, you're obviously doing the work. Then driving back from work, you're thinking about not liking that work. Then you go to sleep and you do that for 5 days a week. But then on the weekend, you most likely have a project that needs to be done. So you're still thinking about it. So really it just consumes like your entire life. Okay. So if that one is not done correctly, of course, it's going to be like a huge drain on your energy. And then you're not going to be able to apply that energy. You're not going to have that energy rather to apply during the workouts, obviously, because as I mentioned before, and I'll mention it many more times in this video, working out takes energy. It doesn't give you energy. So if you don't have enough energy to have intense workouts, there's no way you're going to have intense workouts. It's that simple. And doing stuff like this on the back end, in the background, is what's going to give you that energy and reboot your body and your system. And of course, there's so much more that can be done. I'm just kind of briefly going over this. I just don't want to be too burdensome in this video of going over every single little detail that could be done to really enhance your energy, to maximize your intensity and focus in the gym. So story gap is important. Love-hate relationships, we covered those, are important because both of those could be a source of energy drains. They could be, if you get in the right relationships and the right jobs, it could actually be an energy boost. But more times than not, from being a fat loss and holistic health coach for already 14 years, it's like 99% of the time it's not the case. It's just draining the person. Then obviously, like being empty or having no direction in life is huge as well. Like for example, yes, you're climbing the ladder, but it's leaning against the wrong building, for instance, okay? So that feeling of like, no matter how much I achieve, and in fact, the more and more this person achieves, the more and more empty they feel because they're basically running really fast and working really fast in the wrong direction. So oftentimes people use work to kind of numb themselves out because during times of quiet and peace, they really kind of are reminded that it's not what they want to be doing. So those are very important things to consider because that could be energy draining as well. And without fixing those things, no amount of coffee or energy drinks or well thought out programming will really help you maximize the intensity of your workouts, okay? And this stuff isn't easy to fix. For sure, it's not easy to fix. But if you want to step away from the average health approach or the medical model of symptom managing yourself to death and actually find real solutions to health problems, this is the way to do it. This is the way to do it. Symptom management, it's a failed strategy. There is a time and place for everything, of course, but most health issues, lack of energy, depression, pretty much all health issues, lack of energy, depression, joint pain, it's all a symptom. It's your body's way of telling you there's something wrong and you need to change your belief system that will inevitably change your behavior patterns that are inevitably leading to the problem. It's not telling you like take this pain medication, and I've said or whatever harmful pharmaceutical drugs that basically get rid of one issue and create three others for you to deal with that are also very complicated to deal with. But look at it this way, as my friend Jator Pierre gave me a good example on this one. If you have a rock inside your shoe, like a child will understand that I need to take this rock out to walk pain-free, okay? That's common sense. But what's happening today, especially kind of like what's promoted by the medical model, is, oh, don't worry about that rock inside your shoe. Just go ahead and take these painkillers and continue to walk with that rock inside your shoe. Like, does that make any sense whatsoever? And that happens so often, okay? And it's so sad to see, because oftentimes very complicated health issues of various sorts, including stubborn weight gain, just disappear with the most minor of lifestyle and nutritional changes. Look at my website, many testimonials. So, dude, it's common sense. I don't know why people even waste their time with the drug and pharmaceutical approach. It's fairly criminal to what a lot of these practitioners are doing. Like, for example, I had a client that was on metformin. It's a type 2 diabetes drug. He was on it for 4 years. And all we had to do when he came to me was just decrease his sugar intake by like 50 to 60 grams a day. And he was able to get off of it in a few weeks. Does that seem like right to you guys? Like, for me personally, that seems it comes off as a bit criminal. So to keep him on that drug when clearly he could just need these little minor lifestyle changes to not be on those harmful drugs with a myriad of side effects. So another important thing is, dude, get together with friends that are super jacked and in good shape. This is super huge and very important to enhancing your intensity. If all of your friends are very overweight or just not health conscious at all, this will have a dragging down effect on your intensity, believe it or not, even at an unconscious level that will affect your conscious thinking eventually. So if you have your family members that are not health conscious, your friends that are not health conscious, just being around these people will drag you down, even if that's not your intention, okay? So, for example, if you're around me or just like people like me or other people that are even way more fit than I am, like Paul Chek, for example, trust me, your intensity will go up and your level of being conscious about your health will go up a tremendous amount as well. That's it. So that's super important to consider as well, your circle of friends. So this weekend, on top of, doing the stress chart to identify those energy drains, one other thing you could easily do is look at your friends, look at your family members. How many of them are health conscious? Is their energy helping you with intense workouts and with more focus on your gym? Or is it holding you back? For most people, it's definitely holding them back. For some people, not the case. So luckily, I was surrounded by very fit and health conscious people my whole life, and 100% sure that had an impact on me. So, something to consider, okay? Another thing to consider is limiting your activities. This is huge, especially in Western culture. People feel like they always have to be doing like 1,000,005 things. And I used to be this way as well. My uncle told me something a long time ago that really resonated with me. He told me, like, what does it matter at the end of the day whether you accomplish 6 things in your life or 10 things? The universe wouldn't even notice. And he was right, but at least with 6 things, you can have like a peace of mind by going throughout the day and not being overly burdened or overly stressed from day to day with kind of thinking that you need to accomplish like so much, like I did at one point. So try your best to eliminate as many activities as possible, especially activities that aren't directly related to your health and wellness goals, okay? So think about it this way. The best scenario is you just get up, you go train, and then you focus on your workouts or studies that are related to your training to enhance your training even more. And the more activities you throw in there, like a full-time job that's not directly related to your health goals, random projects, that aren't related to your health goals, just the more distracted your mind is going to be, and the less you're going to be able to focus on enhancing the intensity and improving your physique and health in the gym. So it's very common sense. Your brain can only focus on so many things at once. So if you go from like focusing on 6 things to focusing on just 3 or 2 things, for sure that's going to have a positive impact on your health and fitness goals and your aesthetics as well. So that's another thing you can do this weekend, is see how many activities are just wasting your time and mental energy that you could eliminate, so you can focus more mental energy and time on your fitness goals. And a lot of times with clients, they go like, oh, well, I have, this partner or this job or stuff of this sort, and that's what's holding up my time. But you have to remember, you have to have, as ironic as this sounds, you have to have your needs met first in any long-term project or relationship, for that long-term like project, job, etc., or relationship to exist long-term. Because if you don't have your needs met first, you end up being disgruntled towards that person or that work, and it's not going to work out. It's not going to be a conducive and friendly work environment or at-home environment at that point, okay? So you have to make sure next time you go to somewhere, or even you guys can evaluate this today, like how many of my needs and core values are met by my work, my current relationship. And the more of them that are met, the more energy you're going to have. The less of them that are met, the more friction you're going to have, because remember, you're wearing masks at that point. You're kind of moreover tolerating something you don't want in your life. And the more masks you wear, the more energy draining that's going to be. And obviously that's going to have a huge negative impact on your workouts. Yeah, good call, Vince. A lot of people, unfortunately, they're just in this mindset of trying to please like mommy and daddy with endless accomplishments, but running their body and mind to the ground. And they don't have healthy boundaries for themselves. And it's unfortunate to see that. And you do see that very often. So yeah, okay. So boom. All right. Okay. So that stuff is the most important. Okay. So all the stuff we just covered here, is it easy to fix? Are some of them easy to fix? No, they're definitely not. But if you really want to enhance your appearance, your aesthetics, your gym intensity, your health, it needs to be done. That work needs to be done, because if it's not, you'll just be chasing symptoms your whole entire life and not seeing any real progress or results. And it's always sad to see people putting in effort, but putting in effort in all the wrong places, because they don't want to do the real work. They would rather spend all their time, avoiding the real issues than dealing with the issues that are actually going to give them a resolution to their problem. So some other bonus things you can do on the side that have helped me personally enhance my intensity is have really good music ready, or like a good playlist ready for you for the gym. Okay, that's huge. In the gym, don't have any electronics. That's huge. Like if you do have, Stefan, good to see you. If you do have electronics, make sure it's on airplane mode. Like I do use my phone in the gym, but I always turn it on airplane mode when I'm there, okay? And I only use it just for the timer, basically, for the rest intervals between workouts, etc., between exercises, etc., okay? And do not have any electronics in the gym, because this is a huge distraction that will derail your intensity and your focus a tremendous amount during workouts. Another thing you can do is, once again, presuming you already have like a well thought out program, is when you're driving to the gym, mentally rehearse what you need to do that day. It's like, okay, today I need to do like the bench press, then pull-ups, then the incline press, then some seated cable rows, then some remedial exercises. And you want to be rehearsing that mentally in your head as you're driving to the gym, and thoroughly mentally envisioning yourself actually doing that intensity, those exercises with perfect technique and perfect intensity, as you're driving to the gym. So very being focused and on point of what you want to and need to accomplish that specific workout. And treat every workout as your last workout. I'm not saying like every workout needs to be to the death, but the quality needs to be there, rep after rep. So in between exercises, let's say you just did a set of 10 on the bench press. Okay, cool. In between exercises, turn on the timer. You should be focused on the next set, mentally rehearse. How's the next 10 reps going to look? How did my previous 10 reps look? Okay, I messed up. Let's say I could have prevented a little bit of micro movements between rep 8 and 9. Okay, what am I going to do on the next set to make sure I'm mentally focused during that rep interval to make sure my technique is perfect, right? These are all little details, but they make a huge, huge difference compared to, for example, the person like they do a set and then they're on their phone. Like, okay, this person for sure does not have like an impressive physique, like 100% guaranteed. They're not driven. Their focus is definitely skewed and interrupted by these, by the social media or whatever the hell they're watching. And guess what? Like, stop watching people living their life on social media to the fullest and start living your life to the fullest. If you just spent less time watching people achieve their goals, you would have more time to achieve your goals and focus on your goals. And trust me, your life would be much happier then, okay? Than instead of like watching people take action and sitting on the sidelines. So let's see here. All right. I wrote something here, but I'm having trouble reading it. Okay. That's it. I mean, guys, there's so much more that we can talk about in terms of little nuances of program design, maintaining good energy and gut health, maintaining good immune health, etc., etc. But I think you guys get the picture of how to really focus on achieving good intensity in the gym. That way you don't waste time and run in circles just chasing symptoms and not getting results year after year and signing up for cheesy boot camps or whatever the hell is going on and you're just not getting anywhere, okay? Okay, it's the weekend. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone has had a good week. Wishing everyone the best. And thank you for tuning in. Good to see everyone. German, good to see you as well. All right, guys. Take care. And Sean, good to see you as well. Take care, guys.